Hi, who are you? What's your name? What do you do?
My name is Madison McIlwain. I am the co-host and co-founder of the Room podcast, and I also build for startups at Vercel.
Great. You just presented today at the AI Marketing Conference. What did you think?
We had a great time up there. I talked about people as a platform, which is something I have a lot of conviction in, and how you as an individual can build a brand and ultimately build a business.
So it was interesting. You said you weren't a marketer, but you're in marketing conference. In the beginning, you asked how many people are creators. Why did you ask that question?
I think the internet has given us the opportunity to all be creators, and some people lean more deeply into that persona because there is a whole industry being built around being a creator. There's the creator economy. But I think as serious business people, we oftentimes shy away from the creator persona. But ultimately, when push comes to shove, I think creators are driving the economy forward and ultimately will be driving a lot of businesses forward. And so I think people should push themselves to think about how they identify.
You're working for a company. A lot of people who are creators represent a company, so maybe they could be called the B2B creators.
Oh, I
And
love
then
that term.
people who go direct to consumers, maybe a B2C. Do you see a difference like that? And how important is it to be associated with a bigger brand that you can help build as opposed to developing your own brand? And how do you balance the two?
The biggest difference is who is your core customer. B2C core customers are end users that are on the street, they're shopping, they're buying. B2B users are bigger buyers, they're bigger contracts. And so where you find those end users and buyers will be different. So I would say that's the most key distinction between the two. So where do you find them? Where do you reach them? How do you think about that storytelling would be something I would consider.
And how does this creator economy related to, say, influencers? We hear a lot about them. And now, of course, a lot of them are now AI, but individuals who are maybe everyday people selling shampoo or makeup or a celebrity with a brand name. What's the role of influencers in this creator economy?
They're incredibly powerful and incredibly important tent poles for people's business decisions. If a creator and an influencer is behind you, it can drive serious business revenue for you. I think ultimately people are becoming micro influencers. That's been a concept that's been around, but I think in the business community, we're still warming up to that. So I'm excited about people who have a point of view in the market and are open and willing to share it.
And you talked about the different types of platforms available. You said a lot of the podcasts have moved to video. That's what makes
Yeah.
YouTube such a giant. But you also talked about the importance of LinkedIn as part of developing your audience.
Mm-hmm.
What should people think about as they choose a platform, where they want to go? What's the best approach? Is it audio, video, both,
Yeah.
or whatever?
I think the important question and really statement is don't be all things to all people. It's good to have presences on all platforms, but ultimately thinking about where do you lean in, where's your secret sauce. I shared this today, but I'm more of a long form girl. I enjoy things that are lengthy and in detail. And I just tend to enjoy writing and building that out. So if you're getting started today, I would ask yourself which medium feels most authentic to you and start there.
Mm-hmm. And in the age of AI, you could go on like Notebook LM and then throw a bunch of documents there and create a
True.
podcast for you. What do you think of that? How do we compete as humans against that? Or
Yeah.
people for authenticity and then they could tell? It seems like people have a love-hate relationship with AI. They love to watch, but as soon as they see it, it lowers the status of that content.
Yeah. I started my podcast before there was AI and ultimately was writing all of those questions by hand. Now I would be silly not to leverage ChatGPT or any other search platform to help me get to better questions. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I still think I come up with better questions than AI 9 times out of 10, but it helps push my creativity to get there. There's something about this systems integration that humans are really good at that AI isn't yet there on context. So I'm pretty bullish on us still, but also don't be someone who thinks it's not worth using. It's absolutely worth using.
Uh-huh. So obviously, you have a very attractive personality.
Oh, well, thank you.
People are obviously drawn to you. How important is to cultivate that? Of course, some people are natural. Some people have to work on it. How does one work on that certain je ne sais quoi that you need?
Practice, practice, practice. I mean, it's been 5 years of us telling our story online, and I have gotten so much better at it. And ultimately, I think just listen to the feedback of the market and people around you. People have a lot to say, and a lot of people want to hear it. So just be open and honest with yourself about what stories you want to tell, and then just go do it.
So I'm a career coach.
Awesome.
I work with a lot of people who are going through transitions, who maybe want to go to a different industry, want to get a promotion, things
Yeah.
like that. I think as a lot of people are now finding their lives disrupted, podcasting or some kind of content creation is always something they wanted to do. What would you tell people? How do they brush themselves off, have resilience, and maybe get into this? Either probably not full time immediately, but as a side gig, as they look for other gigs. What kind of advice would you give to that? Where do they start?
Consistency is key. I said this earlier, but the best time to start a podcast was yesterday. So get started and keep going. I think a lot of people get 90% of the way there, but don't be afraid to go to 100%. One of my little tips for life and all things career is always send a thank you note.
Always what?
Send a thank you note.
Also thinking of, oh, that's right. Building relationships. That
Absolutely.
seems really important.
Yeah.
And so podcasters are obviously you're broadcasting, but it's not really broad traditional sense, right? So you have an audience, you have to cultivate. How important are events like this, live events, where you present yourself as a podcast broadcaster, but you're amongst humans? Is that important?
I'm incredibly bullish on in-person events. Like I said in my presentation, ultimately everyone will find you first URL, but you become real IRL, and there builds conviction and there builds confidence in who you are and your authority. So I'm a huge believer in going in person and getting to see people face to face.
Great. And where can people go and hear you and listen to you?
The best place to look me up is The Room Podcast. We're on all streaming platforms. You can just look that all up, The Room Podcast, or my name, Madison McIlwain, on LinkedIn is my best channel.
Great. And we'll put a link in the notes. Thank you so much.
So nice to meet you.
Nice to
Thank
meet
you
you.
very much.
Good luck.
Appreciate it.
If you have a team and you want the team to be 10x what they are, you've got to send them to events. The best event to send them is AI Marketing Summit.